G'day legends. Today we're going to take a look at a new plugin from Raytown Productions, Clarity Delay. You may know Raytown Productions because he also makes YouTube videos. He's been helping you guys get better mixes over the years. Maybe you've learned a couple of things or two from him. But he's gone ahead and he's created this really cool delay plugin to cover a bunch of needs because yes, we all have delay plugins built into our DAWs, but if you want to get really creative with your delays, generally you have to get a bit more creative with your routing. It gets a bit more technical. It gets a little bit more messy in your session. What he's done is he's condensed a whole bunch of cool ideas into this single location. So you can have up to 3 separate delays happening all at the same time. You can have one of them doing a ping pong. You can have one of them spread out wide. One can be an analog delay. You can change the timings of each of them. One of them can be a quarter. One can be a half note. One can be a full note. Each one can be processed separately with different levels of saturation and reverb. You can duck the signal. You can gate the delays. You can mess with the routing of the delays as well. You can have all 3 passing straight through each other. You can have all of the delays separate. You can have delay 1 and 2 routed into each other, and then you can have delay 3 on its own. There's some really cool things that you can do here, and we're going to have a look at all of that. If you are interested in checking out this plugin for yourself, make sure you hit that link in the description below. You can head over and you can pick up a copy of Clarity Delay and get it into your sessions. Here's our first example using Clarity Delay on a vocal.
Cause how long is too long? Can't take back all of my mistakes. I wish I never made it all. Cause time won't erase this, but I won't waste another moment feeling frozen anymore.
Okay, so super cool. You can hear how boring it sounds without the delay.
Cause how long is too long? Can't take back all of my mistakes.
And how the delay actually adds to the track and becomes a feature.
Cause how long is too long? Can't take back all of my mistakes. I wish I never made it.
But the lead vocal is still really clear. It's not getting muddy. And that's because we can tonally shape the signal being fed into the delay. So we've got our pre-EQ, but then we can also EQ it post. So you can see we're rolling off the lows and the highs kind of before and after, and then boosting up those mids a bit. So we're filtering out anything that might make the delay a little bit muddy. And we've got 3 different delays going on here. Delay 1 and 2, as you can see down here, this is the routing, are being fed into each other. So basically those 2 delays are creating our first lot of delay, which is a quarter note on a wide setting being fed into an 8th note ping pong delay. And then we also have our third delay, which is just an 8th note on a wide setting. And that one's panned off to the right a little bit. And this is literally just from messing around a little bit, created this really cool wide delay that doesn't get in the way of the vocal.
Cause how long is too long? Can't take back all of my mistakes. I never made it all.
So what's really cool about this is how the center channel is staying really clear and clean for our lead vocal to sit in there and not get smothered. So for our next example, I'm going to put this on a programmed beat and I'm going to use a preset. There's some really cool presets in here. Under effects, we've got drum room vibes. So let's chuck that on here. So it doesn't get too boomy or muddy sounding. It's actually pretty sweet sounding reverb, room sound within Clarity Delay. What's cool about this plugin as well is there's kind of a bit of a blurry line between delay and reverb. You can do a bit of both. So we've got a single channel of delay here, really short delay time. And then in the depth section, this is where we can apply reverb to the delay. We have it on a hall mode and we've got the space cranked. So that means it's mostly going to be smothered in this reverb. And it sounds really cool. Shorten the length and make it a bit more gated sounding. Just a really cool way of adding some depth to the drums. You can see we've got a bit of saturation on here as well, and the focus and the soften knobs. What the focus knob is a kind of adaptive mud remover. So it removes boominess and muddy frequencies. Here it gets a lot tighter as you push that focus up, which is nice. And the soften knob removes harshness from the delay. Here those hi-hats kind of get a little bit more chilled out. So between those two knobs, you can really smooth out the reverb sound, remove a bit of mud, remove a bit of harshness, and just get it sitting in there a lot nicer. So super simple way of using clarity delay to just add a bit of depth and space to a sound. Let's try that now on a synth lead. This is what it sounds like completely dry. It's cool, it's just a little bit boring at the moment. So check out this setting that I've dialed in on clarity delay to just make it sound way more epic. Really cool. I love that. Okay, cool. So I loaded up a preset for this called Rhythmic Ether, but I then tweaked it a little bit. So on our first delay, you can see it is panned hard left and we have a quarter note delay, digital delay, and you can just check out these parameters. Nothing too crazy going on here. A little bit of space on it, but pretty standard kind of delay. That sounds like this. Quarter note delay with a bit of verb. It does sound really cool. You can hear it spaces out, which is really nice. You can solo your delays as well just by clicking on that headphone, which is really nice just so you can focus in on each individual delay and just get those settings just right. Okay, so on our second delay, let's just turn this one back on. You can see it is panned hard right. We've got a quarter note that's dotted. There's a little bit more feedback on this one. If you flick back to channel 1, you can see a little bit less feedback. And down here, you can see that these delays are just individually being fed out of the plugin. They're not being fed through each other. So you can hear that actually sounds pretty cool, turning up the total harmonic distortion on that dotted eighth, added some cool character to it. Playing with the space knob can be a cool effect as well if you just want to wash it out a lot more. So really cool parameters here that you can just dial in really quickly. So you can use it in subtle ways, or you can use it to make a really pronounced effect that becomes a prominent part of a track, just like that. Okay, so here's another example for you on lead guitar. I love a bit of delay in making your lead sound nice and big and lush and epic. I know a lot of people do, and this is a preset called Shred Glue, and then I've tweaked it a little bit. So I love how spacious and wide this sounds, but we can also retain the clarity of the original signal even when we're boosting quite a bit of an effect into this. So again, a couple of cool things going on here. Our first delay is a dotted quarter note panned out to the left, and then our second delay is just a normal quarter note panned out to the right, and then our third delay is just a really short delay of 165 milliseconds, which kind of doubles up the sound. That's just down the center of the mix. It sounds really cool. Have a listen to these as we kind of bring them in and out. I think that sounds great, and we can also shape it even further. So we can access the pre-EQ, we can roll off some of these low frequencies. can EQ out some of the mud. Take out some of the fizziness. And that's before it's being fed into the delay. Then we can flick over to post and we can EQ afterwards. You see I've put a little notch here on some of these harsher upper mid frequencies. So that's really cool that you can shape it before and after. Just helps you to get the delay sitting in the mix just right. You can obviously do this in the context of the full mix and boost frequencies in and out and find what sounds really nice. But I also want to draw your attention to this little randomizer up here, this little dice. So you can click on that and it will just give you some completely random settings. Couple of usable settings there for sure. So if you kind of just want to see what happens, it's a bit of fun. And one thing I will point out with this is when you click on the presets, there's a really cool setting in here called lock preset dry wet. If you click on this and then jump between different presets, it will keep the dry and wet exactly where it is. And check it out, as I jump between presets, that dry wet will stay the same. Super handy. Okay, so between those examples, we've pretty much covered most of the parameters here, but what I want to do here is dial in an effect from scratch and just cover a couple of extra things that I've maybe missed, like the movement section with the ducker and the gate, because these are really cool features. You can duck your effect out of the way of the original signal so that things remain clear. You can also gate the delay. You can use this for creative effects, or you can use it to also get the delay out of the way quickly. So check this out.
Wake me up, I think I'm dreaming, I think I'm stuck somewhere between the here and the other. I've been tethered, I'm paralyzed, I'm paralyzed.
Now let's use the ducker to push this out of the way.
Wake me up, I think I'm dreaming, I think I'm stuck.
Pushing the effect out of the way, and then it comes back up as the clean signal finishes. Now we can set the release time over here. At the moment it's synced to the tempo, a quarter note that's dotted, which sounds pretty good to me, so I don't feel like I need to mess with this. But if you wanted it faster, you could go with a 16th note or an 8th note, or you could just flick it into time and you could set the time yourself. Let's bring in our second delay, and I'm going to play with the gate with this one.
Wake me up, I think I'm dreaming, I think I'm stuck somewhere between the here and the other.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool, but now let's play with the gate.
I'm paralyzed, oh.
All right, pretty cool. If we want to just kind of soften it, we can just bring that gate up a bit so it's not hard gating it.
I'm paralyzed, oh.
So it's still there, but it just gets faded out, which is really nice. Okay, let's bring in our last delay. And for this one, we're going to jump up to a half note. So we've got an 8th, a quarter, and a half note. Maybe go an analog delay for this one, pan it to the other side.
Wake me up, I think I'm dreaming, I think I'm stuck somewhere between the here and the other. I've been tethered, I'm paralyzed, I'm paralyzed, I'm paralyzed. Oh.
Okay, definitely needed the ducker there to push it out of the way. Let's hear this in the full mix.
Wake me up, I think I'm dreaming, I think I'm stuck somewhere between the here and the other. I've been tethered.
Now, let's muck around with the routing. So we can just feed these delays a little bit differently.
Wake me up, I think I'm dreaming, I think I'm stuck somewhere between the here and the other. I've been tethered,
cool.
I'm paralyzed, I'm paralyzed, I'm paralyzed. Oh.
Yeah, that's cool too. It's crazy what happens when you start messing around with this stuff. That's what's really fun about this plugin too, is it's just very creative. So just by playing around with settings like this and then changing the routing, you get something completely different, and it can be really awesome as well. So I actually really liked this one here, number 1 and then 2 and 3 being fed into each other.
Wake me up, I think I'm dreaming, I think I'm stuck somewhere between the here and the other. I've been tethered, I'm paralyzed, I'm paralyzed, I'm paralyzed. Oh.
I love that it's taken what could be really complex routing and just put it into one nice little package where you can create some really awesome and very interesting delay effects. So if you think this plugin looks cool and you think that you might like to use it, then make sure you hit that link in the description below and go and check out Clarity Delay. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support this channel, make sure you check out those links in the description below. Go head over to my merch store, pick yourself up a hat or a t-shirt. And if you want to grab some drum sample packs or mixing courses over on my website, make sure you do that, because that is an awesome way of showing your support. If you work on heavy, hard-hitting music and you want to take your productions to the next level, then my metal mixing course might interest you, so check that out in the next video coming up.